Lord Inquisitor here. This is an intro video for my Southern Assault battle reports. I attended Southern Assault, which is a grand tournament in North Carolina. This is at the Atomic Empire store, which is a great venue. And I wanted to provide my army list beforehand, so I don't need to show it every game. So, first of all, this is a comp tournament. So there was we used the Swedish comp, and if you're not familiar with that, that is a system where you go through a list of pluses and minuses to an arbitrary score, and eventually you'll end up with a score between 0 and 20, 0 being a really super tough tournament army, 20 being really super fluffy, friendly army. So to start with, I started with a Keeper of Secrets. I bought the level 3 upgrade, took Laura Slaanesh. Both the level 4 and taking Shadow was a hit to the comp. And then I've taken the Exalted and Lesser Gifts. So with the new demons, you don't buy upgrades so much as small, medium, and large gifts. With the Exalted gift, what my plan was to take the Chromatic Tome. I found the Chromatic Tome to be an enormously useful item for the demons. What this does is it allows you to reroll the Winds of Magic. So first of all, being able to reroll the Winds of Magic is great by itself, but also demons have a table that can be good for them, or it could be bad for them, or random things can happen to the enemy. And I want to be able to control that a bit. So if I roll something really appalling on the table, like -1 ward save, then I can re-roll that and get something better. The only downside is if I use the re-roll, then the enemy can also get re-roll their Winds of Magic in their turn. But I'm thinking that most of the time the odds of me needing it and my opponent needing the re-roll are going to be slim, so I figured that's okay. And then a lesser gift, which I'll default to the Always Strikes First sword if I don't get something I really like. Then I have a level 1 Tzeentch herald. This is my one concession to the Slaanesh theme. Every other model is Slaanesh marked. But this is, so it's level 1 metal. It's going to default to Searing Doom almost certainly on a disc. So it's a flying caster with Searing Doom. I can also, the disc is a good fighter even if the mage isn't, so that can do some war machine hunting and that sort of thing. It also has a lesser gift. Honestly, I'm hoping to roll something good on the table, maybe a 2+ ward save against the first wound or something like that. I don't think I ever used the lesser gift in all 5 games, so it was definitely something I would have dropped, just taking a level 2 upgrade instead, but the level 2 was comped. Then I have my Battle Standard Bearer. So my Battle Standard Bearer is on an Exalted Chariot. This is one of the large Slaanesh chariots. This is definitely a concession to comp. I don't think I would normally do this. She weighs in at about 450 points for a model that's very easy to kill off the back of her chariot. However, she has some neat little tricks. First of all, she's level 1 a Shadow. More or less anything I roll in the Laura Shadow is good. Even Steed of Shadows on the Keeper or on the big chariot is sort of fun. She has a couple of lesser gifts, and what I'm really looking for here, she's a challenge monster, and I'd really like to get that multi-wound 2, maybe Always Strikes First. If all else fails, the +1 strength sword. And then she has the Exalted Locus of Slaanesh. So what this does is, first of all, it's -3 initiative to anyone in base contact, which is nice. But the main thing it does is if she issues a challenge, it cannot be refused, and I can pick who accepts it. The fun thing about combining that with the chariot is the chariot impact hits come before challenges are declared. So essentially I can run into a unit, do all the impact hits on the rank and file, then challenge out their unit champion, and the whole unit's basically unable to attack back. So it's a fun little trick. It still is something that I would regard as a soft option, but it saves me a lot of points in comp compared to anything else you'd buy for 450 points. So a very nice unit for this sort of format. Then I have my core, so I have 3 units of Demonettes. I think they're displayed slightly differently on the board to how they should be, but there's basically an 18, an 18, and a 13. Normally I would run these as at least 1 horde of Demonettes, but it's a concession to comp to take them as small units, and honestly I quite like them as small units. I think it worked well. So one has a Banner of Swiftness, the other has another has a Gleaming Pennant, so it doesn't need to hang around with the General or the VSB. Lastly, we have some support units. Not lastly, second to last. We have some support units. I have 6 Fiends. These were... So the Keeper was my main points hit for comp. These were another sizable chunk of my comp, taking 6 Fiends in one unit. However, it's a respectable hammer unit. It's not amazing. It's not going to beat a Gut Star or anything like that, but it's very, very fast. Movement 10, Swift Stride. Very, very useful little unit, and that puts enough concentration of force there that unit can do a bit of damage. Then I have a Seeker Chariot, which is a little lackluster, but again, it's a nice thing for the comp. Then I have my chaff and counter chaff units. I have a unit of 5 Furies of Slaanesh, a very useful little unit, and the comp doesn't penalize you too much for the first unit. It's only after you take multiple units. And then 7 Seekers, which are negligible in the comp and quite a nice little unit. I like Seekers. I think they're a great unit. I think people should use them more. They're very, very fast, very mobile, useful little unit, and they hit reasonably hard since the riders have 2 attacks each and the mount has 1 poisoned attack. So, and that is it for my army list. So in the end, again on that 0 to 20 scale, this scores a 19. More precisely, it's an 18.5, but we round up to a 19. And so this is considered a very, very soft army. And I think for a very soft army, it hits reasonably well. I can handle certainly a normal army. I am going to struggle if I hit anyone who has a real, zero comp tournament list. I'm going to have to do what I can if I run into that situation. But against other soft armies, I think I can do well with this. That's it. Time for the battle reports.